Australia, a land of stunning beauty and endless adventure. From its breathtaking landscapes to its vibrant cities, the allure of Australia is undeniable. Beneath its beauty, Australia hides dangers you wouldn't believe, which brings us here today. Today, we're diving into a topic that's fascinated, terrified, and thrilled people for years: Australia's unique challenges. So what are the terrifying secrets about living in Australia? From dangerous wildlife to extreme weather and even isolation, this country presents some unique challenges. Make sure you stay to the end of the video, where I will be sharing something very personal. Not one, but two major events that I and my family went through, living here in Australia, that changed my life forever. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. Let's explore what makes living in Australia both thrilling and, well, a little bit risky. The redback spider, for instance, its venom can cause severe pain, nausea, and even death if untreated. And the funnel web spider, its bite can kill within 15 minutes. Then there's the weather. Australia is known for its extreme conditions. In 2009 and 2019, bushfires ravaged over 46 million acres, destroying homes and habitats. Isolation is another challenge. Many Australians live in remote areas, far from essential services. Imagine travelling hours just to get to the nearest grocery store. So what's it like to live in this incredible yet challenging country? Stay tuned as we uncover the thrills and dangers of surviving Australia. Why are there not more people talking about the terrifying truth about living in Australia? Sure, the wildlife is infamous, but the weather can be just as unforgiving. Let's break it down so you know what to expect and where. Starting with snakes, Australia is home to over 140 species of land snakes, and 32 of them are venomous. The inland taipan, also called the fierce snake, has the most toxic venom of any snake in the world. Luckily, it lives in remote areas of Queensland and South Australia, so encounters are rare. However, for those living in these areas, it's a constant concern. Imagine walking through your backyard and having to be on high alert for one of these deadly creatures. Then there's the eastern brown snake, found mostly in populated areas along the eastern and southern coasts. It's responsible for the most snake bites in Australia. In fact, there are around 3,000 snake bites reported annually, with the eastern brown snake accounting for about 60% of these. But don't worry, anti-venom and quick medical attention have made fatalities extremely rare, not forgetting the red-bellied black snake. It is native to the east coast of Australia, where it is one of the most commonly encountered snakes. It can be found in urban forests, woodlands, plains, and bushland areas of the Blue Mountains, all along the east coast of Australia and northern parts of Victoria. And spiders. We've got the famous redback. These spiders are common across the country, which is found pretty much everywhere under outdoor furniture, in sheds, and even in children's play equipment. However, imagine the horror of finding one in your child's sandbox. Imagine. Then there's the funnel web spider, particularly the Sydney funnel web. Found on the eastern coast in New South Wales, these critters are highly venomous, but again, no deaths have occurred since the development of anti-venom. Living in Australia means coexisting with these venomous creatures, but with awareness and caution, you can navigate these challenges safely. Now next we move to Australia's extreme weather conditions, from heatwaves to cyclones. If you're planning to live here, get ready for some serious heat. In 2019, Australia experienced one of its hottest years on record, with temperatures reaching up to 49.9 degrees Celsius, 121.8 degrees Fahrenheit, in Nullarbor, South Australia. Aussie summers can be brutal, with temperatures soaring well over 40 degrees Celsius, 104 degrees Fahrenheit in some areas. This extreme heat can lead to heat exhaustion and heat stroke, especially for those not used to such conditions. And with that heat comes the risk of bushfires, which can be devastating. The 2019-2020 bushfire season, known as Black Summer, burned over 18 million hectares. All over Australian states, New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, ACT, Western Australia and South Australia. A devastating 920 million to almost 4 billion Australian dollars was lost. Sadly, 33 people lost their lives. And not forgetting the Black Saturday fires of 2009 in Melbourne, Victoria. Devastating and burning over 450,000 hectares, with 173 lives lost. 3,500 structures, which of that was over 2,000 that were homes destroyed. But it's not just the heat you have to worry about up in the northern parts. Cyclones are a real threat during the wet season. Cyclone Yasi, a massive Category 5 cyclone, crossed the far north Queensland coast early on February 3, 2011, causing over $3.5 billion in damages and left thousands of people without power for weeks. These massive storms can cause serious damage, so it's always best to be prepared. Australia's not just home to dangerous creatures, it also has some wild weather. Floods are one of the country's most devastating natural events. When the rains come down heavy, rivers can burst their banks and turn roads into rivers. In 2011, the Queensland floods affected over 200,000 people and caused $2.4 billion in damages. Not to mention, the 2022 Eastern Australia floods were one of the nation's worst recorded flood disasters, with a series of floods that occurred from late February to early May in southeast Queensland, the Wide Bay Burnett and parts of coastal New South Wales. Brisbane suffered major flooding, along with the cities within the inner and outer suburbs, with 27 lives lost, $4.8 billion in damages, $2.5 billion in Queensland alone. It's essential to be cautious during heavy rains. Floods can rise quickly, cutting off roads and stranding people in remote areas. If you're out traveling, especially in rural or outback areas, always keep an eye on weather alerts and never try to drive through floodwaters. Just trust me, you'll be surprised how fast that water can sweep away a car. Whether you're soaking up the sun or battening down the hatches, Australia's weather keeps you on your toes. The unpredictability of the weather means that Aussies always have to be prepared for anything. But the good news, Aussies are experts at dealing with whatever Mother Nature throws at them. And communities here are incredibly resilient. After the Black Saturday and the Black Summer bushfires, the devastating floods and cyclones, communities came together to rebuild, showing the true Aussie spirit of mateship and resilience. After facing the extreme weather, let's explore the remote outback. Australia's outback is one of the most iconic and breathtaking places on Earth, but it's also one of the most remote. If you're planning to explore or live in these areas, isolation is something you'll need to get used to. Imagine driving for hours without seeing another soul. With small towns, sometimes hundreds of kilometers apart, you need to be prepared for long drives and limited access to resources. For instance, the town of Birdsville is over 700 kilometers from the nearest major city. Driving in the outback is an adventure, but it can be dangerous if you're not well prepared. Breakdowns are common, and without proper supplies, you could be stranded for days. Always carry plenty of water, fuel, and an emergency kit. Statistics show that dehydration is a leading cause of emergencies in the outback. And remember, your best mate out here is your GPS and a reliable vehicle. A sturdy 4x4 can make all the difference. But honestly, once you see those endless horizons and star-filled skies, the risks are totally worth it. Many adventurers say the beauty of the outback is unparalleled. Beyond the outback, the ocean holds its own set of dangers. If you're heading to the beaches, there are some marine dangers to be aware of. The box jellyfish is considered the most venomous marine animal in the world. Found mainly in the waters of northern Australia during the warmer months, its sting can be deadly. They're most common along the coastlines of Queensland, the Northern Territory, and northern Western Australia. In these areas, lifeguards are always on high alert. Always swim in patrolled areas and wear protective clothing if you're in those waters. Lifeguards have reported numerous rescues each year due to jellyfish stings. The venom of the box jellyfish can cause excruciating pain, paralysis, and even death. Immediate medical attention is crucial. To avoid stings, heed all warning signs, wear stinger suits, and carry vinegar, which can help neutralize the venom. Vinegar stations are often found along popular beaches. The blue-ringed octopus, found in tidal pools and reefs along the coasts, has a venom that can cause paralysis. It's best admired from a distance. Exposing the hidden threats in the ocean, riptides are another invisible danger. Australia is famous for its stunning beaches, but with that beauty comes danger. One of the biggest threats to beachgoers is riptides, also known as rips. These powerful currents can pull you out to sea in seconds, even if you're a strong swimmer. Riptides are fast-moving currents that form near beaches with breaking waves. They can drag you away from the shore, and many people panic when caught in one. But the key is not to fight it. Instead, stay calm and swim parallel to the shore until you're out of the current. Then head back to safety. One of the best ways to stay safe is to always swim between the red and yellow flags. These zones are patrolled by lifeguards who monitor for riptides and other hazards. So if you're unsure about the conditions, it's always best to check with the lifeguards before heading into the water. Australia's beaches are incredible, but knowing how to handle riptides can be a literal lifesaver. Respect the ocean and always stay vigilant when swimming. Trust me, it's better to be safe than sorry. I'm sure you've heard the news about Australia's dangerous wildlife, but there's another hidden threat you need to be aware of: sun damage. So when you're out exploring, whether you're hiking, hitting the beach, or even just walking around the city, make sure you slip, slop, slap, slip on a shirt, and slap on a hat. Trust me, the Aussie sun isn't something to mess with. Did you know that Australia has one of the highest rates of skin cancer in the world? Skin cancer rates are unfortunately high here, with 2 in 3 Australians being diagnosed by the age of 70. So sun protection is key. And don't forget to stay hydrated and seek shade whenever possible. Never underestimate the damage, and yes, painful sunburn can do, short-term, and yes, long-term. Being sun smart can make all the difference on your Aussie adventure. So, always be prepared and respect the sun's power. I bet you didn't know that from sun damage, we now move to the lurking predators, the crocodiles. Crocodiles, now these guys are something else. Saltwater crocodiles, or salties as we call them, are found across northern Australia, from Western Australia to Queensland. They can grow up to 7 meters long and are incredibly powerful predators. They're mostly found in rivers, estuaries, and wetlands, but they also venture into the ocean. Freshwater crocodiles are also found in northern Australia, though they're less aggressive and usually stick to rivers and lakes. These ancient reptiles have been around for millions of years, and they're perfectly adapted to their environments. Salties are ambush predators, meaning they lie in wait, almost invisible beneath the water's surface before launching a surprise attack. They're incredibly fast and have one of the most powerful bites in the animal kingdom. While they're fascinating to observe, it's crucial to stay safe. Always heed local warnings and signs when near crocodile habitats, and never swim in areas known to be home to these formidable creatures. Respecting their territory is the key to avoiding dangerous encounters. Whether you're exploring the mangroves or enjoying a riverside picnic, being aware of these magnificent yet dangerous reptiles is essential. But remember, the thrill of seeing a crocodile in the wild is an experience like no other, adding to the unique adventure that is Australia. I bet you didn't know that a tiny critter can pack such a punch. The Australian paralysis tick, also known as Ixodes holocylus. They are found mainly in eastern Australia, in states such as New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria, and some parts of Tasmania. While they may not look as intimidating as snakes or spiders, ticks can still pose a significant threat, especially the notorious paralysis tick. These little guys are known for causing paralysis in pets, and even humans if left undetected. In fact, there are over 10,000 cases of tick paralysis in pets reported annually in Australia. Female paralysis ticks can transmit a toxin to their hosts, people and animals, while feeding or causing paralysis. If you're out exploring the bush, or just spending time outdoors, always make sure to check for ticks afterwards. Better safe than sorry. Regular tick checks can save lives, as early detection is key to preventing severe reactions. I bet you didn't know that tiny but mighty creatures also pose a significant threat in Australia. Now watch out for bull ants. These aggressive ants are scattered across Australia. Bull ants are large, alert ants that can grow up to 40 millimeters. They have characteristic large eyes and long slender mandibles and a potent venom-loaded sting. They have superior vision, able to track and even follow intruders from a distance of 1 meter. Known for its aggressive nature, this ant produces a potent, venom-filled sting which causes incredible pain for the victim. They are mainly vicious when they sense the nest is in danger. An allergic reaction or multiple bites in humans can lead to anaphylactic shock, which can be dangerous. Families living in rural areas often have to teach their children to recognize and avoid bull ant nests. Statistics show that bull ant stings account for a significant number of insect-related hospital visits in Australia each year. The combination of their aggressive nature and potent venom makes them a formidable challenge for anyone venturing into their territory. I bet you didn't know the kangaroo twist is another interesting aspect of Australia's wildlife. Okay, I know you will not expect this one to be on the list. Kangaroos. Now, these iconic Aussie animals are usually pretty harmless, but they can be a danger if threatened or protecting their young. They're known for their powerful kicks and punches, especially the large red kangaroos found in inland areas. In fact, there have been several incidents where people have been injured by kangaroos. It's always a good idea to observe these majestic creatures from a distance and respect their natural habitat. Remember, even the friendliest looking animals can have a wild side. Statistics show that kangaroo-related injuries are on the rise, with over 1,000 incidents reported annually. For instance, kangaroos are a common sight, but they can be a real hazard on the roads, especially at dawn and dusk. Statistics show that kangaroo-related car accidents account for over 80% of animal collisions in Australia. So next time you see a kangaroo hopping by, enjoy the sight, but keep your distance. Personal stories from locals often highlight the importance of being cautious around these animals. After all, it's their home too. This is why you need to know about the dingo dilemma in Australia. These wild dogs are found in various parts of Australia, especially in rural and desert regions. In fact, there are an estimated 200,000 to 350,000 dingoes across the country. They're quite shy and usually avoid humans, but they can become aggressive if they feel threatened or if they're scavenging for food. There have been several reported incidents where dingoes have attacked humans, particularly on Fraser Island. You'll often hear about them on Fraser Island, but they roam much of the country's inland areas. If you encounter a dingo, don't try to feed or approach it. Just admire from a distance. Feeding dingoes can lead to them associating humans with food, increasing the risk of aggressive encounters. Respecting their space and understanding their behavior is crucial for coexisting with these fascinating yet unpredictable creatures. Local authorities often run awareness campaigns to educate tourists and residents about dingo safety. So, the next time you find yourself in dingo territory, remember, observe, respect, and keep your distance. Personal stories from locals often emphasize the importance of these guidelines for ensuring safety. It's all part of the unique adventure that is Australia. Embracing the challenges and respecting the wildlife makes the experience truly unforgettable. I don't think people understand the flora that fights back includes some deadly plants. Just when you thought we had covered all the dangers, let's delve into something often overlooked: the deadly flora of Australia. While the fauna gets most of the attention, the plant life here can be just as perilous. In fact, over 1,000 people are hospitalized each year due to plant-related injuries. Take the Gympie plant, for instance. This plant has been responsible for numerous cases of severe pain and suffering. This seemingly harmless-looking shrub is covered with tiny, needle-like hairs that deliver an excruciating sting, causing pain that can last for months. Then there's the deadly nightshade, a plant with berries that look enticing but are highly toxic. Ingesting just a few can be fatal, and there have been tragic cases of children mistaking them for edible berries. Even the seemingly innocent oleander, often found in gardens, is lethal if ingested. A single leaf can kill an adult, and there have been instances of pets and livestock succumbing to its toxins. These plants serve as a reminder that danger in Australia isn't just limited to animals. In fact, many locals have learned to identify and avoid these hazardous plants as part of their daily lives. So, next time you're exploring the wilderness, remember to tread carefully, not just for the creatures, but for the flora that fights back. Always carry a first aid kit and be aware of your surroundings. This is going to blow your mind. Let me tell you about one of Australia's most dangerous creatures, the infamous drop bear. Drop bears are a mysterious and terrifying predator said to lurk in the treetops of Australia. They're known to drop from branches onto unsuspecting tourists, causing chaos and fear in the bush. Locals say these fierce creatures are closely related to the koala, but don't be fooled. They're much bigger, with sharp teeth and claws that can tear through anything. The best way to protect yourself: speak in an Australian accent or smear Vegemite behind your ears. It's said that drop bears are repelled by the taste. Now, while many have yet to encounter one of these terrifying beasts, the stories are plenty. So, keep an eye on those treetops next time you're hiking. Okay, I'm just kidding. Drop bears are actually part of a classic Aussie prank that we like to play on visitors. But hey, always good to keep you on your toes, right? Of course, the real threat up there is much more adorable. These koalas are nothing to worry about unless you're a eucalyptus tree. So if you hear a story about drop bears, you can relax and have a laugh with us Aussies. Bushfires can devastate communities, destroy homes, and take lives. The impact on wildlife was catastrophic, with an estimated 3 billion animals affected. And let's not forget the ocean. While Australia's beaches are beautiful, they're also home to sharks such as tiger sharks, bull sharks, and yes, the great white shark. Shark attacks, though rare, do happen. In 2020, there were 18 unprovoked shark attacks in Australia, 3 of which were fatal. Surfers and swimmers need to be vigilant and follow safety guidelines to minimize the risk. As we near the end, let's reflect on the final thoughts. On a personal note, living in Australia, most of my childhood was living in the state of the outback in Northern Territory, and also in the remote areas of Queensland, South Australia, and Western Australia. As I grew older, I lived in states like Victoria. I've had my fair share of encounters with the creatures, myself having the experience of being stung by a blue bottle jellyfish, and a close encounter with a king brown snake, and yes, by those pesky bull ants. My younger sister, as an infant, was stung by a scorpion and chased by an Australian pelican. But what would always stay with me was experiencing personally the devastation of the 2009 fires in Victoria, the loss of a family home, the loss of people we knew, the loss of whole towns destroyed. Then again in 2022, the floods in Queensland, seeing first-hand homes and streets just gone. Feeling that feeling once again of helplessness. These experiences change and shape my daily life even to this day. But despite these challenges, myself and Australians have a resilient spirit and a great sense of humour. We love to share our stories and have a laugh, even about the dangers we face. So, whether it's a tale about a drop bear or a real-life encounter with a snake, there's always an adventure to be had down under. And believe it or not, we've only scratched the surface of Australia's wild side. There are even more creatures out there that I haven't touched on yet. The camouflage stonefish, for example, is the most venomous fish in the world and can cause excruciating pain if stepped on. Then there's the cassowary, a bird that can be extremely dangerous if provoked. In the rainforests of Queensland, they're known to attack humans, causing serious injuries. And of course, as mentioned, our coastal waters are home to great white sharks, bull sharks, and tiger sharks. Shark attacks, while rare, do happen and can be fatal. So if you'd like to see a part 2 of this series, let me know in the comments. There's plenty more wildlife to explore and stories to share here in the land down under. Are you afraid to face the dangers of living in Australia? Yes, it's true that we've got some of the world's most venomous creatures, like the inland taipan, which can deliver a fatal bite in under an hour. Extreme weather, such as the intense heat waves that can reach up to 50 degrees Celsius, and the remote outback, where getting lost can mean life or death. But honestly, that's part of what makes living here so exciting. Australia is a land of adventure, beauty, and resilience. The challenges are real. For instance, dealing with bushfires is a common part of life here, with over 24 million hectares burned in the 2019-2020 season alone. But they're what make the Aussie experience unique and unforgettable. At the end of the day, the rewards far outweigh the risks. Imagine waking up to the sound of kookaburras or spending weekends exploring the Great Barrier Reef. So, if you're thinking about living in Australia or just coming for a visit, don't be scared. Embrace the adventure. Take it from locals who face these challenges head on and come out stronger. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe and let me know in the comments what you think is the most dangerous or most exciting thing about living down under. Until next time, this is Louise from Off the Pathway Travel. Join us soon for another journey along this amazing world we call home. Until then, catch you later, mates.